Hello, my lovely people, and welcome to Owen's Mind, a light-hearted trip through the contents of my head and the world in general. It is Sunday the 24th of November. My name is Owen, and here is what is on my mind today. So, as usual, I've picked out 5 stories making the headlines I want to give some thoughts on. Links are in the description below so you can read each article in full and show those original publications some love. So, without any further ado, let's get into it. So, story number 1. This is CNBC News today. This is Elon Musk says Tesla has received 146,000 orders for its Cybertruck after its botched debut. So this was making all the headlines a couple of days ago. So they launched the Cybertruck, which is their newest vehicle, newest electric vehicle. And at one point in the demonstration, they were going to show just how tough the vehicle is. So they took a sledgehammer to the bodywork. It barely made a mark. Brilliant. When they did the armored glass, they had one of the team throw a big steel ball bearing at the window, and the window shattered. And then they did another window, just going, oh, just technical errors, and the same thing happened. Okay, so bit of a snafu, but despite that, it says that they've received 146,000 orders for it. So apparently, a prospective Cybertruck owner must pay Tesla a refundable $100 pre-order fee. In a boastful tweet on Saturday, Musk conflated orders with pre-orders, which are distinct from final commitments to purchase Cybertruck. The CEO wrote 146,000 Cybertruck orders so far, with 42% choosing dual, 41% tri, and 17% single motor. It's less costly to pre-order the Cybertruck than it has been to order other Tesla models. Pre-order for Tesla's forthcoming crossover SUVs, Model Y customers had to lay down a heftier $2,500 deposit. In 2016, Tesla took pre-orders for Model 3 $1,000. So I wonder if this is a reaction to the bad demo. Going, well, maybe if we just make it, the deposit just a minor deposit, then more people sign up for it, and we can offset the bad publicity they got from the demonstration in Valen. On its most recent earnings call, Musk said, "I've recently driven the Model Y release candidate, and I think it's going to be an amazing product, and it's going to be very well received. I think it's quite likely to, just my opinion, but I think it will outsell the Model S, Model X, and Model 3 combined." They've not revealed how many pre-orders they've received for the Model Y. So, but yeah, no matter the take rate, pre-orders for the Cybertruck are one indication that Tesla's marketing game remains as strong as ever. So they unveiled its Cybertruck design and specifications at a promotional event in Los Angeles on Thursday. The vehicle represents a big metallic trapezoid and will start at $39,900. So it's, it seems fairly priced for what it is. Yeah, on Thursday night, Musk tried to showcase the Cybertruck's durability by having the company's design chief hurl a metal ball at one of the Cybertruck's armour glass windows, but the window ended up cracking. It's more than a crack if you see the video and the pictures. He says, "We threw wrenches, we threw everything, even literally the kitchen sink at the glass, and it didn't break. For some weird reason, it broke now. A humorous Musk said at the event. I don't know why, we'll fix it in post." The stunt helped make the Cybertruck the subject of memes and media coverage all around the world. Some Wall Street analysts were critical of the truck's extreme style, while others speculated that design could be a primary selling point. The shattering of the truck's unbreakable glass windows during the live demonstration was not a good start, Deutsche Bank said in a note. Cybertruck is Tesla's 6th electric vehicle model since the company was founded in 2003. It's seen as a potential competitor to best-selling pickups like Ford F-Series and General Motors Chevrolet Silverado before its debut. However, after the edgy design was revealed, some analysts have said they view Tesla's truck as more of a niche product. Apparently they think that a lot of other manufacturers are now going to sort of relax and go, well, we don't have to really fight this because it's such an unusual looking vehicle. It's not going to attack our markets. So my thoughts on this: well, live unveilings, they've always got the potential for things to happen. No matter how much you prepare, things like this can happen. And we've seen it with tech demonstrations, we've seen it with live streaming events where internet connections have gone down and this kind of thing. So I think in the demonstration, if you actually watch it, there's a before the actual demonstration where they throw it at the window, they have 2 pieces of glass, regular truck window glass and test glass, and they drop the ball bearing on the regular screen from a couple of feet and it goes through it, and then they drop it on the tester one from like 3 times the height and it just bounces off. So why it failed on the vehicle, I don't know, but it doesn't seem to have put people off. People seem to like it. I really don't like the style of this truck. for me, it just doesn't speak to me at all. I think it looks horrible. It looks horrendous. So it's not for me. But 146,000 people have put a deposit down. Again, it's just a deposit. They could get it back, but yeah, it's obviously appealing to some people, and it seems reasonably priced for what it is. So yeah, people at Tesla are going to roll on with it. In regards to the glass thing, I don't think it's anything to worry about. In the wake of this, it's almost a good thing, because they are going to double down on that glass now and make sure that the next time they unveil it, the next time a customer receives it, they are going to make sure this thing is absolutely bulletproof. So that's what I always did. We do live demonstrations, something goes wrong, and there's even more emphasis now to fix it, because that is the one component people are going to go to. And the thing is now, like YouTube channels, now people have got the money to buy one just to test this glass. You see, I'd love like the latest iPhone, the latest TVs and that, because they're very expensive. There's people on YouTube and who will just buy one and say, oh, we're going to see if we can destroy it, because they can afford it and they have it, and I suppose it's a consumer test. So somebody will buy this truck just to repeat that demonstration to see if Tesla have fixed it. So yeah, I think it's a good thing in the long run, because Tesla are now going to address it, because they know it's the Achilles heel that people are going to come back to. So they'll deal with it, they'll fix it. There we go. Moving on, story number 2. So this is in CNN. This is 250 mile an hour electric hypercar is the fastest acceleration in the world, and it is fast. It's insanely fast. So it's the fully electric A-Spark Owl, or the A-Spark Owl. It's capable of reaching 60 miles an hour in just 1.69 seconds, according to Japanese manufacturers A-Spark. This outstrips electric high-spec rivals such as Rimac Concept 2 and Tesla's Roadster, which take 1.85 and 1.9 seconds respectively to hit the same mark. So the Owl was first revealed as a prototype in 2017, but its final version received its world premiere at a prestigious car show in Dubai. Beyond record-breaking acceleration, A-Spark also claims this is the first Japanese fully electric top-tier supercar. It's powered by a lithium-ion battery boasting 2012 brake horsepower, and it is fully charged in 80 minutes. The listed top speed is a shade under 250, just a shade, placing it among the fastest street-legal cars in the world. So A-Spark President Masanori Yoshida told Top Gear magazine that the company will attempt to set a world record lap time on the Nürburgring racetrack in Germany by March 2020. They said they wanted to deliver a feminine aesthetic to complement the high-performance specifications. The vehicle is composed of carbon fibre panels around a stainless steel frame. It's just 99 centimetres in height, so the Owl will be one among the lowest vehicles on the road, with a monocoque structure weighing just 120 kilograms. It will also be one amongst the lightest. Just 50 have been manufactured, and they go on sale with a price tag of €2.9 million. So yes, that is insanely fast. So what did I say? 1.69 seconds. So the thing with cars, it's always, well, like most things, it's always bigger and better and faster and this kind of thing. So manufacturers are always going to change the record. We want to be the fastest. We want to be, the fastest acceleration. It's always been cars. What's wrong with going, we're the most efficient, or our batteries are the best, or we're the most reliable? My concern with this is, at what point does that speed literally outstrip reaction time? If you're going from a standstill to 60 miles an hour in just over a second and a half, can your brain keep up with that? I mean, I know it's not designed for, you're not designed to do that going down the shops. It's designed for a racetrack and this kind of thing, but it's road legal. So, yeah, I mean, that is incredibly fast. So if you look at it, so we go 1, 2. In less time than that, you've gone from an absolute standstill, as I'm sitting here, to 60 miles an hour. So, yeah, a little concern there, but again, hopefully it's going to be used responsibly. On the plus side, it's good that they innovate like this, because eventually it's like with Formula One. They come up with new designs and better batteries and more efficient designs and more aerodynamics and this kind of thing. It does trickle down to the lower tier cars. Some of that technology will actually filter its way down over time, and then, a more efficient battery will be present in every electric car. So it's good that people are designing things like this. Again, it's a real selling point, isn't it? That's going to appeal to the, what's the equivalent of a petrol head for electric cars? Spark head. That would be, that will appeal to the electric car heads, I suppose. You know, that they can say, there's only 50 of these in the world, and it's the fastest accelerating road legal car that exists currently. So, yeah. You see, I think this race is going to go faster. In regards with petrol, it was, you had to, I think there was a lot more to get more speed, a lot more things needed to happen to get speed out of a petrol engine, an internal combustion engine. Whereas electric now, it comes down to the motor and the torque you can create, which I think is going to be much easier to improve. So I think 1.69, I don't think that record will sit long. I think it'll be beaten. But again, it gets to a certain point where it's like, unless it's on a perfectly flat, straight road, how could you ever use that acceleration? Because it's ludicrous speed, as they say in Spaceballs. There we go. Anyway, moving on. Story number 3, Mail Online. Oh, look at this. This is Ranger. So, yes, in the Mail Online, this is a 2-year-old German Shepherd. It looks like a puppy due to a rare condition, which means he'll never grow up. Oh, bless. So, yes, it's Ranger is a 2-year-old purebred German Shepherd from Phoenix, Arizona, which has pituitary dwarfism. So he retains his puppy-like appearance much longer than is normal for the breed. He was diagnosed with a rare condition after he contracted a parasite called Giardia. While he was recovering from the infection, his owners noticed that Ranger wasn't growing at the same rate as a German Shepherd should, and they took him to the vet, who revealed that little Ranger may have pituitary dwarfism mutation. So as a side effect of this, he is contended with various health issues, including shedding fur and flaky skin caused by hypothyroidism. But with the unconditional love of his owners, some help from a legion of online followers, Ranger was able to get all the treatment he needed and made a full recovery from all his health issues. Despite the adversity, this underdog has never let any of it hold him back. He's happy and healthy, can be found playing the day away with his family and sisters and enjoying online fame and adoration as the star of his own Instagram page. He's been filmed performing his signature head tilt and playing with his sisters Hazel, the Labrador, and fellow German Shepherd Jessie. Shelby Mayo, who's Ranger's guardian, said when we originally got Ranger from the breeder, he was smaller than all the other litter mates, but we figured it was because he had a parasite called Coccidia. But in the weeks following, we took him home, and the parasite realised he was parasite-free. But then he later on ended up getting this Giardia, and they also discovered he had a large infection in his neck. So it sounds like he's been through it, the poor little lad. We eventually able to get the infection under control. Fast forward a few months later, we were finally able to get rid of the Giardia. But during this time, he remained very small, and they suspected he may have this genetic mutation, this pituitary dwarfism. They were still sceptical of his condition is very rare, but over time he didn't get any bigger, so at a certain point they just believed, yes, he has this. A few more months we got him neutered, and that's when we started seeing big changes. He lost his appetite, started to lose weight, almost all his fur, and had extremely dry, flaky skin. Many people on our Instagram page warned us that pituitary dwarfs can have medical issues, but up until this point we hadn't experienced any. One of our followers, Guardian's Farm, were a small company that makes handmade soaps, lotions. They sent us goat milk soap, which ended up helping Ranger's skin immensely. That's nice. At the same time, one of our followers who also had a dwarf German Shepherd told us to get his thyroid levels checked, as many dwarfs suffer from hypothyroidism. So our vet checked his thyroid levels. Sure enough, he was low, and this can cause hair loss and a loss of appetite. After getting Ranger on levothyroxine and using this soap, his fur grew back and the dryness went away. Ranger's litter was the first litter that our breeder had bred those two specific dogs together. We believe that this was the cause of the genetic defect, and the responsible breeder would not breed these two dogs together again. He's healthy and happy, can now, as of now, loves jumping around and playing with his ball, squeaky toys, his two sisters, Hazel and Jessie. So it's nice, lovely. It's a lovely story because, you know, he's cute, and so they've put him up on Instagram, so he's got lots of followers, but then it creates community. So when he started having health issues, you can just literally reach out to the community, and you've got so many people with so much knowledge going, yeah, it might be this, it might be that, and we make stuff that can help, and we have a similar thing. So it's, you know, it's, again, this is one of the brilliant things about the internet. I know people are always having a go at it for all its negative things, but this is when it can come together. And they're saying, get this checked, get that checked. So now we have Ranger happy and healthy, gone past all his medical issues. It sounds like he'd had to fight every step of the way, but that's it now. He's getting looked after. He's been well cared for. He's got his signature head tilt, And yeah, just a lovely story. A lovely story again. People sort of going the extra mile to help out a creature. And yeah, bringing joy for everybody. So, brilliant. Nice little story. And another nice story here. Excellent. So, this is in the Mirror today. As the delivery driver runs into a burning building to save newborn baby from a fire. So, fair play to this lad. Habil Khan, he's called, 26. He saw a blaze on his normal delivery round, so he rushed inside the property. He helped save the 7-week-old tot and get out of the property near Stapleford, Nottinghamshire. The fire started in the kitchen and spread quickly. Nottinghamshire Live said, "Just a normal day at work for me," modestly said. "I was doing my deliveries in the Stapleford area, and I pulled up and looked over where a customer's house was. I saw loads of smoke gushing out of it. My natural instinct was to run across to the house. I could see lots of smoke and people panicking outside. I shouted, 'Is everyone out of the house?' And that's when a woman with 2 young children shouted, my baby's still in the house. I don't think she had realised until then, and then she ran back into the house and Kabil ran in with her. She managed to pick the baby up from the room next to the kitchen where the fire had started, then we ran out. Despite his modesty, brave Habil, who works at Asda's Home Shopping Centre in Bulwell, Nottinghamshire, was recently named Colleague of the Year at the Being Asda Awards 2019, and he was praised for his actions. I didn't really think anything of it, I just thought I'd helped out and I'd done a little good deed," the employee added. "I don't think I've done anything heroic at all, to be honest. Thankfully everyone was okay in the end and the family are back in the house." Fab. Habil's manager Pete Smith said, "We know him as Smiley. He's always happy, he's always doing the right thing by the customer, he's an absolute asset to the team and a credit to the company." As the Senior Vice President of Operations, Anthony Hamedinger, said, "What Habil did was remarkable and it's not something we would recommend our colleagues do. However, it's clear in this instance his instinct kicked in and he did a remarkable job." So brilliant, good job. You know, the house was on fire, he went over, and it says from the article that he kind of escorted the owner back inside. But at that point, there's going to be people reading it going, "How could you not know you'd left a child inside?" And it's like, you know, panic does funny things. She'd got 2 kids out from what I can read, you know, and he said, "Yeah, anybody else?" And then she suddenly, "Oh my God, yeah." So at that point, just him being there kind of triggered that in her mind. So they both went back in. He went back in with her. She got the child, got it out. Brilliant. Especially as a young child, the longer it's in there, you know, the risk of smoke inhalation and horrible things happening. So, you know, this guy was just out doing his job, saw somebody who needed help, gave that help, and he's been rewarded for it. And well done to him. So again, Habil Khan, 26. Good on you, mate. Good on you, mate. So very, very well done. Just a brief one, but you know, the guy deserves some recognition because, you know, a lot of people wouldn't have done that. A lot of people would like, you know what, you know, there's people over there, I've got my own things to do. So they'll either just ignore it or they'll just say, there's people dealing with it, I'm not going to get involved. But he was like, no, let's go over, see if I can help. He could, he did. Happy ending. Brilliant, brilliant stuff. Story number 5 in the Metro. Yeah, Popeye bodybuilder has 3 pounds of dead muscle removed after injecting his biceps. Right, I've got thoughts on this. A former soldier who earned the nickname Popeye after injecting his arms with jelly to create bulging biceps has had to undergo surgery to save his life. Kirill Tereshin, 23, was warned he could die or need to have both arms amputated because of the artificial biceps he created. Surgeons at the first Moscow State University in the Russian capital said they removed 3 pounds of dead muscle and 3 litres of petroleum jelly, which had formed into a solid lump. Lead surgeon Dmitry Melnikov said the team were only a quarter of the way through the huge operation. It will take at least 3 more surgeries for all of the Vaseline-like jelly to be removed from Kirill's arms. Dr. Melnikov said the bodybuilder who found global fame for his fake bulging biceps was persuaded to undergo urgent treatment by Alana Memiev, 32, a leading campaigner for victims of botched plastic surgery. The surgeon said the problem is that with this petroleum jelly, you injected this so thoroughly that it spread into the muscle and killed it. It was dead anyway at it. We've done 25% of the repairs. Kirill has been told he would have arm movement, but the muscles in the arms will be diminished. Alana, who helped raise funds for his surgery, said we're trying to help this young man. Former army conscript Kirill told her before the operation, "I'm ready, I'm not even afraid." Dr. Melnikov told his patient petroleum jelly saturates the muscles under the skin tissues and the skin itself. All that has to be removed, but we need to keep the vein nerves and other functions of the limb. He added, petroleum jelly is not designed for injection, only external application. Kirill injected about 3 litres into each arm. Um, it saturated the muscle tissues, blocked blood flow, and as a result, the tissue dies and gets replaced with scar tissue, which is as tough as a tree. He said the implants were causing him high fever, strong pain, and weakness. So Kirill was lucky that the damage only remained in his limbs and not spread to the rest of his body, the surgeon said. Petroleum jelly affects the whole body, kidneys in particular. I think Kirill did not fully realise the consequences of what he's been doing. In Russia, plastic surgery involving injecting petroleum jelly into the surface of the skin has been on the rise, especially with people seeking fillers. The surgeon said he had seen patients previously who had dangerous substance injected into their breasts, buttocks, and faces. My thoughts on this: firstly, don't call yourself a bodybuilder. Just don't, because it's a joke. Because you can see from that picture of you, that's not a built body. It's a manufactured body. So, bodybuilders themselves, even the professional ones who do take a lot of drugs, I'm not trying to deny that, they use a compound called synthol. And the idea of, when it's used correctly, if there is such a way, is that if you've got a certain uneven body part or a certain part that's lagging behind the others, it's injected and it goes under the muscle. The idea is it pushes the muscle up against the surface of the skin and makes the muscle appear bigger. And synthol's an oil, type of oil. You don't just stick it in the surface because it smooths out, because it sits between the muscle and the skin and looks watery. So the idea is it's got to go under. Apparently it's incredibly painful, and it's used sparingly to bring about proportion. And obviously some bodybuilders do, abuse it, and it looks ridiculous, just like this guy. But petroleum jelly, I'm guessing, is a cheap alternative. But he's not a bodybuilder. He's just a skinny guy who gave himself ridiculous biceps. Popeye, your nickname, false. You look at Popeye, Popeye's got big forearms, not big biceps. I'm being a bit picky because this is just one of those ridiculous things that gets me annoyed, that people think this is, I think they do. And there's been loads of these. They were called synthol guys, but now it's it's petroleum jelly, and I think silicone stuff has been used. I think that's been used a lot for like women to do like butt lifts and things like that. And it's just like the one last week with the guy with the metallic balls, magnetic balls, inserted him up himself. Stop putting stuff in your body that doesn't belong there. And so now this guy, he's early 20s. He's now got sort of damage in his arms that it says that the muscles in his biceps are now diminished. So if he wanted to give himself big biceps, he's now made it so much harder he's ever going to have big biceps because of all the damage he's done. Had this stuff, like it said, has it seeped into other organs. They've had to remove a lot of muscle tissue from his arm. Had that seeped into his heart, they can't remove pieces of your heart. They can't remove pieces of other organs. So as stupid as he's been flipping lucky that they actually managed to save what they could. And again, they're going to have to go in another 3 more times to get the rest of this junk out of him. But again, this is, people, Instagram and that, have made him a celebrity. They've brought him attention because he looks ridiculous, and probably a lot of it was negative, but because this is a big culture in Russia, there's probably a lot of people who kind of were drawn to it, and so he pursued it. But yeah, I mean, the thing is, it says he's a former soldier. It doesn't say to what degree. I don't think it says he was a conscript. But if you're a soldier, you are trained. You know how to train, how to get strong, how to get big. And you're 23, you've got your whole life. So why did then go, nah, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to inject a ridiculous amount of jelly into my arm. 3 litres per arm. Yeah, and now he's suffering consequences. So, yeah, this kind of thing rubs me up. I mean, there's degrees of everything. There is, so much things in regards to the world of body modification and people adjusting their bodies and that kind of thing. But again, it's most of it is done to a safe degree if it's done by good people who know their stuff. People have things like sewn into the skin, and people have their tongue forked and things like that. There's lots of things that can be done. That can be done effectively to give you the look you want. It doesn't appeal to everybody, but it appeals to you. It's what you wanted to do. This is one of those that's just, it takes that idea and just ruins it. And draws comparisons down to the people who are doing it because they want to do it and they're doing it in the right way. So again, you know, calling this guy a bodybuilder is an absolute joke. It's an absolute joke. And yet there is some ridiculous. There's bodybuilders who take drugs far too far, and we've lost a few of them this year, young guys, because you know they've had negative reactions to the drugs they're taking this lot. But on the whole, bodybuilders, if they do it right, you know, you have a long, healthy life, etc., etc. And things like this just give all that a bad name, and everyone gets lumped in together. Oh, look what bodybuilders do. So yeah, I'm a bit annoyed by this story, as you can probably tell. But those are my thoughts. I'm allowed to have them, you're allowed to have yours. But yeah, it's just ridiculous. I beg your pardon. So I hope this guy learns his lesson and recovers from this and doesn't mess with it again, and hopefully it's just get some water. I do apologise, slight intermission. Better. Yes, hopefully this will be a cautionary tale to anybody else thinking of doing this to themselves. So, oh god, oh where that cough came from, it's horrible. Anyway, we're nearly done. So that's it, guys. Links to all descriptions can be found below, so you can go read each article in full. Let me know what you think about this video, and tell me what kind of modification have you seen that's made you go, really? Or have you got any yourself which you really stand by and you are really proud of? Whatever it is, answer in the comments, please, along with any thoughts you'd like to share. These were mine. They're not necessarily important. They're not necessarily right or wrong. It's just what was on my mind. So until next time, bye for now.